be right back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get things shaking. Hi, my name is Ari Danica, my name is Danny, but in-game, in EVE Online, I'm Ari Danica. And I run a podcast called Voices from the Void, and this is actually, this will be episode 73 of Voices from the Void podcast. I've been doing the podcast for 2 years. I've been an EVE Online player for about 3 years. And today we'll be doing, of course, covering EVE Online news. There's been a lot of stuff going on in EVE Online, good, bad, ugly. Covering some dev blogs. There have been some really good dev blogs coming out. And I'm going to do some Odyssey playthrough. The last couple streams have been on the Singularity server. I am on Tranquility, which is the live single shard server, so chances are I will die a fiery and horrible death. So be sure to poke your friends, and so you can all laugh at me as I die. But let's get the party started. So a lot of fun stuff going on. Just in general geekdom. Oh shit. And of course you can't hear me. You couldn't hear any of that. Oh God, I'm such an idiot. I'm very bad at pressing buttons. So, hello, let's do this again. Hello, my name is Ari Danica. My actual name is Danielle, or Danny. I go by Danny. I run the Voices from the Void podcast. I don't know why I have this up because I'm not using that mic. But I run the Voices from the Void podcast. I've been running the podcast for 2 years. I've been playing EVE Online for a little over 3 years. And today I'll be covering EVE Online news, some dev blogs, a little bit of general nerdness, and then some Odyssey gameplay. So, of course, you know Odyssey has launched this Tuesday, June 4th. And so there's a lot of fun stuff going on Tranquility, a lot of changes going on to the server. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to finally try and find one of these elusive new sites that are in EVE Online. I could not find one to save my freaking life on the Singularity server. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be able to find one here. But before I get into all of that stuff, I have a couple of shout outs I'd like to give. One, of course, a big shout out to my boys, Apathetic Brent and Bacchanalian. Both of them have been picked to be Alliance Tournament 11 commentators. I will be talking about Alliance Tournament a little bit later on the show when we get into dev blogs, but congratulations to them. I have the pleasure of working with them on the Syndicate Competitive League team. They are great guys. They do commentary there. They've been doing commentary since the beginning of the Syndicate Competitive League, so congrats to them. They certainly deserve it. And I'm so happy for them. I cannot wait to see them on the stream. I'm just totally excited and yay! Another shout out, Cap Stable. Like a year and a half maybe, AUI, this corporation and test alliance had a podcast. It was called Cap Stable, and it was ran by a guy named Stig, and it's at capstable.net. You can find it there. They are back, and they're a wonderful podcast, especially if you're a new player. They cover a lot of new player, as Test Alliance is very big into its new bros. So check out the podcast. It's at capstable.net. I'll provide a link a little bit later. So a shout out to Stig and everyone there. Just congratulations. Getting a podcast up and running and getting a podcast back up and running is a lot of hard work. So yay, we're happy to have you back. Another shout out to another podcast called High Drag. So Random McNally invited me to do a little voice project with him. We created a commercial. In order to hear it, you will have to listen to High Drag. But I faked it. That's all I'll say. I faked it. I faked it real good too. Oh, I faked it. I faked it about 15 times, and I believe my neighbors hate me now. So yeah, there's that. And also a more serious shout out to all of the people affected by what's going on in Turkey right now. One of my podcast listeners, Plutonium Sabri, is a resident in Turkey. He is stuck in the middle, in the thick of things. I've been keeping in contact with him over Facebook and over Twitter. Like, he's been injured. He's seen people injured. My heart goes out to all of Turkey and to what's going on. I mean, there are no words. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can say about what's going on there. But I do hope you all just stay safe, be careful, and keep fighting for your liberties. It's a heartbreaking situation. Okay, great. Everybody did hear anything, but it's absolutely heartbreaking. I can't even believe that that's happening over there. But moving on to the EVE news. I do have notes this time, so I'm not rambling on like a crazy person. The first thing I want to do is, there's been a little hullabaloo when it comes to EVE Online developers. And I'm just curious, what would your name be if you were, in fact, an EVE Online developer? I think that if I were an EVE Online, or if I joined the CCP team, if you joined the CCP team, what would your name be? And we were talking about this in the EVE Online podcast room, and Cypher said that his name would be CCP Oops. And I was thinking something along the lines of JR, since I'm a resident of Texas. And also Jessica Rabbit. So JR from the famous show Dallas, which has had a resurgence, weirdly enough. And and also, Jessica Rabbit, very curvy, very deep, husky voice, very sexy lady who loves nerdy, goofy men. And I love nerdy, goofy men. I need to turn my Eve sound down. Eve has music, and that is what's playing. Hopefully you can hear it in the background. It's lovely sounds. So a quick announcement. E3 is coming. E3 is going to be next week, which is Father's Day weekend. So lots of exciting video game stuff. Oh my God, I can't wait. CCP will be there. So if you are going to be in the Los Angeles area, or if you have a chance to go to E3, do check out CCP. They're going to be there in full force. I have it on good authority, i.e. Twitter, that CCP Soundwave is going to be there. He's a lead game designer and also the lovely face of Alliance Tournament. Also, CCP Fozzie will be there. And he's one of the masterminds behind all of the ship balancing that's been going on in EVE Online. And also, he's the great, wonderful, magnificent, wonderful man who is helping us with Syndicate Competitive League. So go out there, say hi, shake hands, don't kiss anyone, because there's like con plague. And if you've never been to a con, don't touch anyone, don't kiss anyone, don't give hugs, don't lick anything, just because it's so gross. And you're going to get sick, so you might as well take some like Theraflu or something with you, or just wrap yourself in plastic, because cons are nasty. So Malagran over in the Twitch channel says his name would be CCP Flatulent Hamster. And that is a lovely name. I love that name, CCP Flatulent Hamster. It rolls off the tongue. It just rolls right off. And I'm curious, what would you guys like to see at E3? So, of course, the next-gen consoles have been introduced. So you have the PlayStation 4 as well as Xbox One, which PlayStation did, I believe, in like 1996. Yeah, how about that, Xbox? And then, of course, you have a lot of weird stuff coming out, too, because, of course, the Kinetic versus the other one, I forget which is which, but the motion consoles, like PS3 has way more titles than the Xbox, and they're like, who's going to come out with what, and which title is going to get a resurgence, which title is going to get yet another fucking sequel that it doesn't need. GTA. Sorry. I loved GTA, don't get me wrong, I loved GTA. I like slapping hookers and beating up cops as much as anybody else, but I mean, come on, there's like 18 million of them now. Let's go on. What else is going to come out? I believe it was announced that Dust is getting ported over to the PlayStation 4, which is good. Battlefield 3 is going to go down because they're coming out with Battlefield 4, and I really hate bullshit like that. Like, that is just such utter crap that, like, they shut down, like, the entire game, and it's like, you go out, you spend $60 on this game, and then it's out for 2-3 years and you can't play it anymore because they're shutting the fucking servers down. It's like, okay, yeah, there's single player content, but really, who plays Battlefield for the single player content? I don't know. I mean, whatever. What else is going on? I guess a quick shout out for my meetup. I run an EVE Online meetup in Austin, Texas. So if you're going to be in the area, the meetup is going to be June 29th. So if you're in the Austin or Texas area, June 29th, come on down. We're going to have it at Pinballs, which is off of Research up north, and it's a giant arcade. I actually went there yesterday for an Austin Geeks and Gamers meetup. Oh my God, I love Pinballs. Okay, so I took my friend Brandon because he was feeling a little bit down. So I was like, all right, let's go to Pinballs. And he's like, yeah, man, do you know this dude whooped my ass in the Simpsons game? Now let me tell you, the Simpsons game is my shit. It has been my shit for years. I always play Lisa because she has the little jump rope thing and it kind of reminds me of Wonder Woman. So I'm playing Lisa Simpson, and I die, of course. So I'm putting in quarters. I put a quarter in one. I put a quarter in the other one. Both quarter slots get jammed up. So this dude ends up getting second place on the machine under Homer because I'm busy running around trying to find an employee to fix this game. I'm so mad. So mad. So mad. He got second place on the machine. I'm so pissed. Anyway, but we also had some fun games. They also have Area 51, which is my favorite arcade game in the entire world. And I'm sitting there killing it. My arm hurts so bad because, of course, I'm sitting there like this, like holding the gun like a gun and step back and all that stuff. Because I love to shoot, and I used to do archery and skeet shooting when I was younger. So I love shooting. I love shooting games. And my dad, actually, my very first shooting game, like most of you out there, was Duck Hunt on Nintendo. And my dad is former military, and he used to whoop our butts in Duck Hunt. My mom would like beat us in Mario Brothers. My dad would beat us in Duck Hunt, and he could be on the other side of the fucking room and hit every single duck every single time, and we'd be like this to the TV, couldn't hit shit. And it's just like, oh yes, and of course, shout out for Time Crisis. Bam! Oh my God, love Time Crisis. So yes, except the only thing is that the Time Crisis machine there, it takes 4 tokens. So it's like, oh my God, do I really want to spend $1 to play Time Crisis? Yes, I do. I want to spend $1 to play Time Crisis. So then, it is what it is. But I had such a good time. And so our Eve meet is going to go there June 29th. If you're in the Austin area, come on down, visit us. It's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be good times had by all, I promise. So if you're in the area, come on down. Normally we have it at Mothership Books and Games, which is a great place. Shout out to Mothership Books and Games. And Derek there is awesome. Derek actually sent me an email the other day about starting a Let's Play demo series, or like a tutorial series, where I would be in the LAN center helping to teach people how to play Eve. Only I'm like really bad at Eve, and so I don't know if I want to teach people how to play Eve. So I'm trying to think of how I can do it. I know CCP game devs will do video calls, and so that's what I'm hoping to do. Maybe set up a couple dev video calls, maybe get a couple high skill players to call in and do some fun stuff. So if you're a high skill player and if you feel like teaching some Austin scrubs how to play Eve a little bit better, please call me. Please. The other piece of Eve news, the mint chip thing. So, in case you haven't, and I'm going to center myself a little bit, an individual by the name of Mint Chip has been recently hired by CCP. I believe it was on June 4th. It was announced the same day as Odyssey, which is a shame because the news kind of eclipsed the release of Odyssey because of just the amount of pushback from players. And here's so Mint Chip was a player in EVE Online, and she actually plays a lot of different video games. She's most known as Mint Chip LOL. She had a YouTube channel where she played different games, and she has an interesting history and background. And from what I've gathered, the main points about Mint Chip that the community are worried about are as follows. One, she is a community representative for Dust, but there is an image where she's on Twitter with an Eve Radio personality called Funky Bacon, saying she's quitting Eve. She hates the Eve Online player base. She's constantly abused by them, and she doesn't know why she's going to stick around. So CCP hired a community rep who has stated that they don't like the community. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's Eve versus Dust. Eve and Dust are one world. I mean, that is the marketing campaign, right? It's one world. I mean, did I miss that? I mean, that's what they're saying, right? So I don't understand that part. Maybe they didn't know, and maybe she was just upset and talking out of her butt. Who knows? There's also an issue of integrity. For those older EVE Online players, they may know of someone called T20. And the issue with T20 was a dev who showed favoritism during the Tech 2 Blueprint original giveaway, and so they were giving preferential treatment to players and giving out favors. Now the thing with Minchip is, does she have enough integrity to not do something like that, or to not bring about that kind of shame upon EVE Online devs? We don't know. There's question about it because she has exchanged personal things for monetary gain. So, there's her infamous Amazon wish list, and there are rumors that she has had relationships with certain people in EVE Online in order to get their money. So she has a reputation of being a gold digger, to put it in better terms. Two, they hired a community rep who has been rejected repeatedly by the community. So, it really doesn't make sense to hire someone who, and Thekla, not just Garmin, there's also rumors about Kriba too. So, and I don't know, but they are rumors. I don't know. I haven't asked her about it. I don't know. And then there are a lot of people who feel that this is just a bad sign. Like, how can you have a community rep who can't control the fallout from their own welcome thread? The welcome thread at first, of course, the pornographic links were being cut out. Posts that were incredibly derogatory were being cut out, and eventually the entire thread was nuked. And so you cannot find this thread on the EVE Online forums. It has been taken away by the EVE Online developers, but it is, I believe, available on eSearch. And so putting this all together, from my opinion, it seems that she kind of has a Kim Kardashian factor. Like, she is the Kim Kardashian of EVE Online. She's kind of famous just for the sake of being famous. Her biggest contribution is nude media. She only appears to be in it for what she can get out of it, which, to each their own. I do this because I always wanted to be Lana Love and Uhura when I was a little girl. And if you've listened to the podcast, I've told the stories where I've had a WKRP in Cincinnati DJ booth which was just one record player and a microphone, and I would be downstairs in my parents' basement singing like Betty Everett and the Supremes and, oh gosh, what was my other song? I loved the Twist song, and I would do my own little radio shows in the basement. And of course my Annie album, because Annie was my shit, because I love Annie. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I'm not sure how to fix that, Thekla. Thekla's saying my audio is about 2 seconds behind or ahead of my webcam image. So, and I'm not really sure how to change that because my audio is piped in. Everything is piped into, what do you call it? What am I using? XSplit. Everything is piped into XSplit, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I don't know. I will ask someone. We are actually dealing with the same issues in the Syndicate Competitive League, so if anybody knows how to fix that, please let me know. But back to the Kim Kardashian factor, it also appears she has no respect for the game or for those who play it. So there's that kind of issue. It's like, how can you be a community leader if you don't really respect the game and if you don't respect those who are playing it? Even though, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she should be respecting the people who are being awful to her, but it just, in general, it just seems like she's really not into it. She's really not passionate, and she's really not into the game. And it's kind of like and a lot of people feel it's like Kim Kardashian being hired for the American Youth Literacy Foundation in order to get kids to read. Simply because she's a fairly attractive female who has a mild interest in video games, maybe it's probably not going to draw more people into Dust. But then that brings up an ugly picture, who's really the misogynist here? Is it CCP Games? Did they really just hire her because she's a pretty face? I hope that's not it. I really do hope that she has some type of qualifications, be it, and you know, there's a lot of different ways to manage a community. Like maybe she has real life experience, you know, maybe she's volunteered with different organizations as a leader, maybe she's been a leader at previous positions. You know, there's a number of reasons why they could have hired her other than what we know her for. So I'm not sure. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Really, it all boils down to give her a shot. If she's decent at her job, if she can keep up, if she can do it, more power to her then, you know, good on her. I will admit, I was a little, like, on the desk thread, it says that she's a World of Darkness dev, and I felt really, like, jealous because, and again, if you've listened to the podcast, you guys know, I've played World of Darkness since 1995. I've story told in online games. I've story told in at-home tabletop games. I've helped create homebrew tabletop games. Like, I'm a big RPGer. I'm a huge role player, huge RPGer. Like, that's been my passion since high school, you know, since high school, middle school. So, like, being a World of Darkness community dev would be my wet dream. I mean, when I was in college, I looked at 2 internships. One was at Disney, one was at White Wolf Studios. And those are the only internships I considered when I was in college. And of course I went to Disney because Disney paid. I mean, it was only $6 an hour, but they still paid. White Wolf didn't pay, and it was in Atlanta. I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. I didn't know how to get housing or anything like that. And so, but yeah, summary, we got to see what happens, you know. Just give her a chance, you know. Just give her a chance. And as for the nude pictures, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has a past. You know, I have a past. I've made mistakes. And like I was telling the people in the EVE Online podcast channel, I've done things that I'm not proud of. When I lived in New Jersey, to make extra money while I was a manager at Target, I was a drink girl, which is basically the equivalent of a booth girl, except with alcohol. So I would go to boat parties, I would go to clubs, and I would wear a specific outfit that would show off specific assets, and I would try to get men to drink a certain liquor. So, and that was my job. My job was to look pretty and to serve alcohol. And, you know, we all do things, and sometimes we're proud of it, sometimes we're not. So it is what it is. And I mean, I've had friends, like, in fact, when I was storytelling, and I tell the story all the time, like when I'm on TeamSpeak, 2 of the girls that I did storytelling with, we were all storytellers. We story told for a White Wolf game. And we story, in fact, the game that we story told in was called IV, or Invictus Nominis. And one of the girls was a phone sex operator. And we would tease her all the time because she would forget to mute her mic. And so we would all be up late at night running these dual scenes, and we'd all be running different NPCs and trying to kill our players. And all of a sudden we'd be on Skype and we'd hear Liz, oh, baby, daddy, what's your name? And we're like, Liz, mute your fucking mic. And so, you know, we've all done things. So anyway, on to the dev blogs. So this will be a little bit easier on the eyes because I'm going to the screen here. So first thing we're going to talk about is, I don't think it's on here. It's Odyssey has been deployed. So I'm going to pull up the patch notes real quick. And oh my gosh, just look at all this stuff. Look at all this. It's insane what all they've put into Odyssey. It's absolutely amazing. So, okay, we're going to start here. We're going to start the fun stuff. So, new ships. They have a new line of Navy battlecruisers: Harbinger Navy issue, Drake Navy issue, Brutix Navy issue, Hurricane Fleet issue. Absolutely amazing ships. Absolutely amazing ships. They are so fun. I played around in the Hurricane and the Drake. Love them. You cannot tell you how much I enjoyed flying in these ships. I'm not a huge Brutix person, and I don't fly MAR. I can fly a MAR, I don't. Another thing, probe scanning has changed, and there's been some talk about probe scanning. A lot of people were like, probe scanning is super easy mode now, and it is. Probe scanning is so easy. And as someone who actually stopped playing their very first Eve account because they kept failing the probing tutorial and got really mad and may have broken their BlackBerry phone against a wall from the rage that looking at 99.99% causes, I'm happy and sad. There's mixed feelings. It's like I'm feeling a little bit bitter vet over it, but I'm also feeling good that when new players come in, they can find this stuff and they can get to this great new content. Also, oh God, combat scanning. Combat scanners who were dangerous are now even more dangerous because they can find you in a blink of an eye, which is absolutely frightening. A couple other things that I wanted to mention. Here we go. Ice harvesting. There has been a reform in resources, not only in Technation, but also in ice. And so instead of having these predestined ice belts, there are now anomalies and signatures that you can go to and go into the ice belts, and like you don't really scan them down, but you go to them and you ice mine at these specific anomalies now. So that's really cool that people can do that, and that it provides a little bit more of a dynamic. Here's the really interesting bit of it. Moon minerals and Tech 2 production. So now there are these alchemy reactions that can make technetium as well as other minerals to hopefully bring down some of the prices on Tech 2 items. I haven't been watching the market too closely on this, but people are expecting market changes. There are changes in how T2 items are produced, and so there's going to be a little bit of a price spike and then hopefully a lowering in price. It's so interesting to see what's going to happen. And of course, EVE Online does employ 2 economists full time, so they will have their hands freaking full with all of these changes. One more important change to know, and I'm sorry I'm flipping the screens around so fast. One more important change to note is the change in skills. And so I'm actually going to go into the game for this. One, you notice that we have this lovely green here, and that is unallocated skill points. So there are 2 separate incidents in EVE Online. One, with the release of the new launcher, there were some launcher issues as well as some issues that were not CCP's fault. But it resulted in people not being able, if they hadn't updated their launcher quick enough, they weren't able to connect to EVE. And so in order to apologize to the players, in order to recoup the players for their lost game time, CCP gave out 50,000 skill points. Also, in a separate incident which happened over the weekend, CCP was the victim of a DOS attack, or a DDoS, which is a distributed denial of service. And so for, I believe it was almost 24 hours, no one was able to connect to EVE. And the team, all of the devs, all of the architects, the server guys, everyone was up. The community team was up. I was actually up, and it was 11 o'clock for me, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning for Falcon. He had just gotten to bed, and the poor thing, CCP Falcon, was like, oh, I just got a call and I have to get up to work. Oh, I just got to bed. Oh God, why am I hungry? Coffee, Red Bull, Jesus, give me something, and it's like, I feel so bad for the devs and for everyone that had to go through this, but they were nice enough to give us skill points, even though there was, like, it wasn't their fault. It really wasn't. But they care about their community. They care about their players so much that they gave us these extra skill points. So make sure that you go on Twitter or go on Facebook, whatever, and say thank you. Don't be a dick. Also, the skill points for there was a change in skills, I guess, is a better way to start off with this. And prior to Odyssey, destroyers and battle cruisers were all one skill. Post Odyssey, they became racial skills. And so if you were a good kid and trained all your skills like you were supposed to, you got a buttload of skill points. And both of my characters actually need new clones now, which reminds me I need to buy a new clone because I have not updated my clone. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. No! I pressed the wrong button. But I need to update my clone because Ari here, she went over, 50 million skill points, and my alt, no, that's not what I want to do either. My alt went over 25 million skill points. So, yay! And I guess that's awesome. This does not have a cloning facility. What kind of garbage is that? And I'm in Dixie 20. Hot mess, hot mess. I need to find a station with a cloning facility in it. But yeah, so if you haven't logged in yet, make sure you check your clones because you may have your clones may have updated. So I don't know what RTFM means. Bobby. I'm gonna give you a Whitney impression. Rest in peace. Let's see. Yes, and then of course moon changes. So I skipped over a little bit of the moon changes. So along with all these moon changes, you may have noticed an increase in activity in Delve. Who would have thought it? So there's a great war going on in Delve right now, and it's really getting hot between Goon Swarm and Test, and there's all kind of people getting in the mix. And in fact, there was some hot action in Syndicate too, from what I heard. Oh yeah, read the fucking manual. Yeah, no. Manuals? What? Somebody's tripping. Reading manuals? That's like asking for directions on a road trip. Bitch, you tripping. Oh yeah, and it's not Delve. It's not Delve, it's Fountain. Well, shit, I don't know what's going on. Is there anything going on in Fountain? Is there anything going on in Fountain? I haven't seen anything going on in Fountain. But Decla's saying that he thinks Delve was more of the good fights going on in Odyssey. I always thought Delve was going to be the place because that's where all the what is it called? Not carbonite, but there's some moon mineral down there that's going to be really valuable now that starts with a C. And so that's why I thought it was going to be the hot. But okay. But all right. Oh, that's right. Fuck, I didn't listen to the State of the Union. Yes, thank you, Thekla. I totally forgot. And I saw HVAC Repairman announce that today. But yes, there was a State of the Union address this morning. Completely forgot about that. Crap and a half. Cobalt. Thank you. That is the word I'm thinking of, Bobby. Cobalt. Cobalt is the mineral in Delve that I am talking about and cannot think of. But yes. So apparently in the State of the Union address, Mittens declared war on Fountain, and they're going to go take that. It'll be interesting. I guess I should say now, I'm not a goon anymore, so it is what it is. But I left Goonstorm about a week ago, and I'm in my own personal corp. But I'm sure you saw that when I pulled up my character sheet. You may have not noticed, but so yeah, it'll be interesting to watch that from the sidelines. Maybe I'll join somebody and get in the middle, or maybe I'll just be like what's his name? What is that crazy man's name? Snot shot, and go out on my alt and just camp systems in my bomber and talk to people in local and then die repeatedly. Also going on, one more thing about Odyssey. There was a oopsie with the Caldari skills, and so those skill points didn't get allotted correctly, but that was hopefully fixed in the patch. So just a heads up on that. Going over to a couple more announcements. We're going back to the website. And of course, have to talk about it. Alliance Tournament 11 is coming up. Woo! I'm so excited. I love Alliance Tournament. I remember my very first Alliance Tournament, which was Alliance Tournament 9. And I was so excited, and I watched, and I was like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And sorry, I hope my typing isn't as loud. It might be, but there's an in-game channel for me. The in-game channel that I hang out in is Voices from the Void, so you can hang out with me there. But the great thing about Alliance Tournament is that you get to see all of these different EVE Online alliances vying in pure PvP, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful experience to watch. You should totally watch it. There's different ways that they let the teams in. There's like random draws, and it's great. And they're going to have it on the Alliance Tournament. Well, they'll probably end up having it on the Twitch TV page. And there are going to be some really exciting things that I can't talk about going on. But just stay tuned and watch the blog. The commentary team, of course, you have to talk about the commentary team. And there is the beautiful and luscious Soundwave. Oh, Soundwave. And he has been the lead host for EVE TV. He is a beautiful, wonderful man with a golden spirit, as you can see in his lovely photo. Of course, CCP Rise will be joining them. Also, formerly the game dev formerly known as Kill 2. So an excellent expert. He knows what to look for. He knows what to watch. And there he is flexing it with his bike. And then, of course, the demon-possessed Fozzie. Also a beautiful man, beautiful soul. I once saw CCP Fozzie fend off 3 Care Bear nerds in full rage over my Dominics at a E-function with simply his wits and 1 beer. He is a Canadian of above par stature. He's a beautiful, lovely man, and I have a crush on him. I do. I have such a crush on him. CCP Dolan here looking very sad. He does not have his grand moustache on him, but such a cute little character. Always has something quippy and snippy to say. He's just a lovely guy. Now we get into the player commentators, and of course Big Daddy Shadu will be there. He will be giving the hot eyebrow action. Oh, those little caterpillars on his face just make you so And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of great memes coming out of him. He is always one for he's so witty and just always has something smart ass to say. But he's such a fun guy to listen to, and he knows a lot about EVE. He knows so much about EVE Online, even though he spent 20 bill getting into the SEL only to get knocked out in the first round. I'm just saying. That was my rim shot in case you didn't notice. Also, Bacchanalian, yay! As you can see, Syndicate Competitive League commentary team, 8 tournaments, and this man is nutters about soccer, so hopefully he can just go wild one day and just start yelling in Spanish or something like the soccer players do. You know how they're just like, and he fakes to the left and he fakes to the right, he shoots it in, goal, goal, goal. If you've never seen a soccer game, that's what I imagine it to sound like. I've watched soccer though, football, whatever you want to call it. And as Thecla's saying, Soundwave is being portrayed as Europa being abducted by Zeus disguised as a white bull. Not sure what to think. But see, okay, so who's the white bull, Thecla? Who's the white bull? Who is Zeus? Who is Zeus in this picture? And then, of course, last but not least, there was the super, super sexy, apathetic Brent. He was on the last streamcast trying to teach me how to PvP as I died horribly. Because I'm bad. Because I'm very bad. I know it's a Greek myth. I'm saying who in CCP is representing Zeus if Soundwave is Europa? Who is abducting Soundwave? I know it's a Greek myth, you silly banana pants. But, also with the Alliance Tournament, team signups are open, so go ahead and put those in. Also, if you have a product, if you have a service, if you have a podcast, if you have a blog, if you have anything EVE Online related, get in on this free advertising. Last year, I actually put in 2 ads. I put in an ad for Amok, which we use to then scam people, or actually which they then use to scam people. I don't scam, so there's that. And then I also put one in for, I was with Women Gamers of EVE at that time, so I ended up putting in an ad for the Women Gamers of EVE channel. Hopefully this year I will be doing one for the Syndicate Competitive League and maybe one for the EVE Online Pod Pack, and just giving all the podcasters a little extra something. And yes, Gypsy Band has the best advertisements. If you're ever wondering how your advertisement should look like, Just look at any gypsy band ad, and that's how you do it, because they are the winners. Next dev blog coming up is ATXI Stories. The voting for this is complete, and so the top stories. One, Matani sends his regards, disbanding the Band of Brothers. A ship which shaped history, which XTTZ is another goon. The Guiding Hand Social Club, QTS, most famous heist in EVE Online. If Tyrex's story didn't get in there, I would have cried. And I'm happy to say I voted for all three of those stories. A Player-Owned Surprise, I didn't read that one. And Titan Madness, the Lord Raven story, I didn't read that one either. But I'm going to have to go back and read them. And that's the great thing about ATXI Stories. All of these stories are still up there, and hopefully these stories are going to get put into the comic, which is just going to be absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait for this comic to come out. I can't wait to see the artwork. I can't wait to see how they interpret these stories into comic form. I am a comic book fan. I do have a couple comic book series. In case you're ever curious, my favorite series is Heroes for Hire. I am a Marvel girl. Misty Knight is my number one. Storm is my number two. As for comic book characters, so just putting that out there. But I'm very excited to see it, and I cannot wait to see where this show goes, where the TV series goes. Okay. So Thecla just let me know that Player-Owned Surprise is from Ricks and Kings and it has a video. So maybe I did see that one. I'll definitely have to recheck it out and make sure that I read it. But Ricks and Kings always tells a great story. Their videos are always fantastic. If you want to see a good video, just throw a dead cat at, or well, I don't want to say throw a dead cat, but throw a dart at a Ricks and Kings video and it's going to be good. Let's see. And I'm going to try to stop moving my mouse around so much. I meant to hide my cursor and totally forgot. And here's the other one, EVR. And this is kind of a bittersweet thing. If you didn't hear in the news, one of the founders and the lead engineer for the optical rift unfortunately got Erratic Buddha unfortunately got hit by a car and died. And so that is a huge loss to the video game community, a huge loss to the Oculus Rift family and to his own family. Very sad, and a lot of people are waiting to see where the family would like donations and things to go. So I'm waiting on that information as well, but very sad. But a team of EVE devs, and here's a picture of them, including our dear Sox4. That's Sox4 right there. See where my cursor is? That's him. That's his little cutie face right there. Worked on creating this version of a virtual reality version of EVE Online, and so you can see it being played on the FanFest videos. But if you are going to be at E3, you can contact EVE Online to get a private screening if you're in the press, or if you're a really excited EVE Online player. So if you're going to be at E3 and want to check out the Oculus Rift, definitely check that out. I know, and he's wearing shoes in that picture. It's madness. Absolutely madness. I don't even know what that's about. It's ridiculous. What are you doing, Sox4? So close those out. Was there one more? Oh, and then there's new music in Odyssey. So, and there's new music, there's new transition sounds. So that's all very fantastic stuff. I'm not going to open up that dev block though. Oh, I am going to tell you about one more thing, and I believe it's in the news channel. Battle Clinic is doing a loadout challenge. And so, I don't see it in here. Damn it. Who was it? CCP turn, I believe it was. There it is. So, Battle Clinic, CCP turn wrote this, and Battle Clinic, which is a popular kill board and fittings repository. If you use EveMon, that's where the fittings in EveMon come from. They are doing a loadout challenge. So it's going to be a month-long contest. Oh, that actually runs into... and the first week is going to be actually ending tomorrow. Oops. So hurry up and get a good fit, because you can win time codes, you can win ISK, all kinds of stuff. So you check out the contest here, which is on their forums. So you are going to go to, what is that, forum.battleclinic.com, and the loadout challenge. There you go, Amar Galante Bounty Hunter. So check it out. And right now they're looking for executioners and Atron loadouts. So it has to be flyable for a character who's about 45 days old, 100% flyable within the game mechanics, and it has to be a reasonable fit. I know, I'm bad. I'm a bad. But you know what I'm good at? I'm good at dying in a fire. I really am. I'm super good at dying in a fire. So how about we go do some of that? I'm sorry, I had something in my eye. But we are going to go do the fun part now, where you get to watch me make an ass of myself. And so, and in case you didn't know, your undock is up here now. See this? See this button right here? That's your undock. That's your undock. So stop freaking out, people. But, oh, damn it. I just unboarded my undock. What is this? Look at that. It turns colors and everything. It's so pretty.